139. It is June 1st. Wow. Okay, anyway.
UFC 114 was this past weekend, and Kevin's going to tell you all about it.
Yes.
Because George didn't watch it.
And I know the headline says UFC 115 because it is about UFC 115, but we got to do our recap for the people to follow us. I'm going to start out with the John Hathaway fight. He fought Diego Sanchez. This kid is 22 years old from across the Atlantic. He is fucking nasty. One of the only fighters that keeps his hands up, keeps his shoulders up. He worked Diego Sanchez with nasty stand-up.
Moved Diego Sanchez back to 155 pounds.
He basically gave him, second fight I want to fight. Long dong. That's what Amir Sadala got.
Yeah.
Next fight. Mike Russo. Kind of chubby, kind of sloppy looking. Doesn't look very threatening. Fought a big, muscular, Hercules-type Todd Duffy. Snoring. And you never would have thought it because he was getting his ass whipped the whole fight. But he found a way to pull it off and knock that Bama out with a few seconds left.
That Bama.
Next fight. Bisping outdueled Dan Miller. I love my mates across the Atlantic. I know Bisping is your boy and you love this guy, but I don't get it.
He has no power. And he says he's going to perfect his technique.
He's got less power than my fucking Briggs and Stratton lawnmower that's sitting out back.
I don't think he could break a pane of glass.
You know? Yeah, he could fuck us up, but I mean...
Wow, on the Little Nog.
Yes, on the Little Nog. Little Nog fought Jason Brills, a.k.a. Santa Claus, because he got a gift. Christmas came early for him. I like Little Nog, but Christmas came early because you got a gift. And like Danny White says, don't leave it in the hands of the judges.
It's about the only thing I agree with Dana White on. Actually, it's
the main event. B.A. Baracus versus Rashad Sugar Evans.
And B.A. got up to 251 for that movie role and decided he was going to fight at 205.
And as much as I love Rampage Jackson, it showed. Now, they're going to say it was Wade, he was rusty. I'm going to tell you what I think it was, and I was a Rampage fan. Rashad caught him at the beginning of the fight and hurt him, dazed him. And I think that set the tone for the fight because basically Rampage was like took a little bit caution in rushing and pushing the fight. He was like, okay, this guy's quicker than I thought. This guy has a little bit more power than I thought, and he stunned me. So he was a little bit, he took caution in pressing the fight. And that caused him to lose round one. It caused him to lose round two. And by the time he got things straight in the third round and he caught Rashad, he did not have the ability to finish him. That is something that you typically don't see at Rampage Jackson. He finishes fights. But, Rashad managed to hang on, switch it around, and get the unanimous decision. Done with 114.
Now here at the Uncut Sports Show, we like to show our vast knowledge on many things. Vancouver, is that on the left-hand side or the right-hand side?
Left-hand side, man.
Okay.
It's got the most Playboy centerfolds of any city in the world. Did you know that? Vancouver.
Guess what else Vancouver has?
What?
Playing host to UFC 115. So our buddies over on the left coast.
Somebody's fucking.
Somebody over on the left coast should be able to take a short plane ride up. Now maybe just a week out, because I was thinking if Vancouver was on the right-hand side, you might want to be there 2 weeks to get used to the time. But if you're on this side, you have no time adjustment.
No, none.
So, now Rich Franklin's coming from Ohio. Chuck Liddell's coming from San Luis Obispo. So, basically what I'm getting at is UFC 115 pits Chuck Liddell versus Rich Franklin.
Yes. Now, are we going to talk about that fight last?
We will.
Okay.
So let's start with, this seems to be honestly, not that bad of a card. I mean,
there's a lot of decent fights.
You get to see Mac Danzig, you get to see Tyson Griffin, Carlos Conduit, but we're going to start with the Ben Rothwell versus Gilbert Ival. My opinion of this, if you lose, this is an old school WWF. Yes, F, because that's what it's always been, not this E crap.
Right.
This is a contract match.
Yeah.
You lose this bitch, you're going home.
Yeah,
that's my
agree.
opinion. Rothwell and Ival have a lot to prove.
Both good fighters, both have had great careers, but I think that neither one of them have been impressive in the UFC.
And
if they lose, it's a wrap.
Neither one of these men can beat Frank Mir. Neither one of these men can beat Shane Carwin. Neither one of these men can beat Brock Lesnar.
Junior Dos Santos. That fucking division is stacked now.
And then my man who's Brown Pride. Why can't I think of his name? The Brown Pride tattoo. He's undefeated still.
Yeah, man. I know his name. I just can't think of it either.
Neither can I. Anyway, I'm not
Brown Pride guy.
Either. Yeah, but everyone else thinks it says Bronx. Anyway, that takes us to Paulo Thiago versus Martin Kampmann.
Paulo Thiago is nasty and impressive. That guy, I mean, I don't think this other guy has a chance. Martin Kampmann. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, Martin. I'm sorry, I just don't know you that well, man. Don't be pissed off.
Basically, Paulo Thiago's been working on a stand-up game. He proved that in his last two fights.
Right.
I have Paulo Thiago winning it. I've said before on the show, I'd love to see Paulo Thiago beat GSP or fight GSP.
Right.
But we all know that GSP's next fight is against Koscheck and another Ultimate Fighter. So I honestly think Paulo Thiago is probably another fight or two away from even fighting GSP after he beats Martin Kampmann.
Right.
Now,
Go ahead.
Crow Cop versus Patrick Berry.
A savvy veteran of the MMA world. Crow Cop. And famous for saying, left foot put you in hospital. Right foot put you in grave. Basically saying if he lands one of them motherfuckers, you're not going to be doing too good. Not good.
Pat Berry's going to have his hands full. Pat Berry's last fight was versus Antonio Hardunk, which he won knockout of the night at UFC 104. Before that, he lost to Tim Hague at UFC 98. Good luck. I don't know what to say. I mean,
right.
Anyway, on to the fight of the night.
Fight of the night.
We hope to be fight of the night.
Yeah. You got Chuck Liddell coming back into the octagon. He obviously was
versus Jim Carrey.
He does look like Jim Carrey, shorty. Versus Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura, dude, he was better as Fire Marshal Bill.
He's been a lot of things. Yeah.
On Living Color. That's when J-Lo used to be a dancer. What? Told you, we know all kinds of obscure shit.
Sure. So Liddell's going to be part of the Truman Show.
And Liddell's going to knock this cat out.
And I hope he's not Dumb and Dumber after he does it.
He's going to knock him out.
But you think he's going to knock him out?
I think he stands a better chance of knocking Rich Franklin out than Franklin does of knocking him out. If Franklin wins this, it's going to be by unanimous decision or split decision. I don't think Franklin's going to TKO him or knock him out.
Right.
I just don't.
It's just hard to pick this. We slated to meet Tito Ortiz. Obviously, that didn't pan out. So now he's fighting Rich Franklin. Rich Franklin is just the smaller guy. I mean, obviously, he's not even going to be full 205. You got Liddell, who's a pretty big boy, coming down from probably 230.
Okay. The guys that... No, I'm not knocking Rich Franklin. Hats off to you. You held the belt till Anderson Silva came along.
Right.
But now you're up to 205 because you can't win at 185. Vitor destroyed you. Vanderlei went to decision. I think you should have fought Vanderlei again. You got wrecked by... Oh, no. You split decision by Dan Henderson. You beat Matt Hamill. No offense. I have zippy respect for Matt Hamill. He's just a filler. And Travis Luter. Lost to Anderson Silva. I mean, to me, he's just a mid-level fighter. Yeah. And Chuck used to be elite. So hopefully he can hit him with one of these and put him to sleep.
How old is Rich Franklin?
100. No.
How old is
he? He is
35. Rich Franklin's not a young puppy either.
No.
You know what I mean? He's definitely not a young puppy.
Anyway, that's UFC 115 in a nutshell.
Yeah. I still can't think of the guy with the bronze. Anybody who can think of
Cain Velasquez.
That's it. Damn, he's a bad motherfucker, man. Yeah, moving on to the NBA.
One more again.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, cool.
I'm kind of fucked up missing shit.
Hot news in the NBA. Your wrinkly Lakers are playing against the old wrinkly men in Boston.
Yes.
I'm going to say this next to you. You haven't heard it yet. I would rather see the old men in Boston get 2 rings than Kobe get another. Just the only reason I say that.
You're fucked up, man.
No. Because the guys in Boston are on their way out. I think Kobe is just, if not right at the top of where he's going to be for the next 3 to 4 years, he might just be descending. Where those guys, they're down here.
Let me tell you something about this, man. Okay?
And your team's locked up.
Gasol, fuck that.
No, fuck that nothing. Gasol,
George, all that's irrelevant.
No, it's not.
The Celtics and the Lakers have met in the finals 11 times, okay? The Lakers have only won twice. I'm very bitter about this.
Good.
And stuff like this. Now, I know no one cares because the Lakers and Celtics obviously played a million times, and either one of the teams are in the NBA Finals, so no one really cares. I care because I'm a diehard Lakers fan. But the big news is
the free agent summit. But they're saying don't call it a summit because you have one agent who represents 2 of the guys who are supposed to be in this summit.
It's kind of like the Justice League of America sitting down and planning to fight.
You got LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade.
Chris Bosh? What's that, like a Broxworth?
Yeah.
Put him on a bun and eat it?
Those 3 guys all played together in Beijing.
And now Amari Stoudemire's joining.
And Joe Johnson.
And
you
Joe
have
Johnson.
Those 5. Well, Bosh and Wade are being represented by the same agent, and it's not a free agent summit. So it's going to get nasty come July 1.
Yeah.
Here's what I see happening.
Okay.
Just bear with me. I know this is going to sound nuts.
Okay.
The only way LeBron James ends up in New York or New Jersey is if 1 or 2 of these fellow free agents comes with him.
I think that you have to have, if you start in New Jersey because their whole team is fucking doo-doo. If you only win that many games, I think you need more than 2 superstars. I mean,
You need a
LeBron.
truckload.
Yeah, you need LeBron. Okay, say LeBron and Wade go, or LeBron and Bosch go. I just don't see it happening. It could be two. And who's going to coach them? You got to have somebody that can fucking coach these guys. You know what I mean?
Phil Jackson.
Man, Phil
Why
Jackson.
not? Why not? Because let's face it, this Russian czar
Trying to
gold
give me
mine.
a heart attack?
No, I'm not giving you a heart attack.
Why you want to fuck with my chi, man?
Because
I'm calm.
your chi's jacked. Anytime that your coach is already denying that he's going other places before the season's over,
I feel
you
funny,
can,
man.
You can fuck with players, but you can't. There's no tampering when it comes to
That's
talking to
kinda
coaches.
hurt. Why you got to talk about the coach, man, like that?
I
man?
think Phil's gone.
Phil's not going nowhere.
Let me tell you, because Jerry was struggling to pay him the $12 million this year, wasn't he? He didn't want to pay him that. You know who's going to pay him? Mikhail Papaklakovnov.
That guy's got to go.
Yeah.
He's going to fuck shit up for the Lakers.
That dude's
That
got more
Russian
money than
fucking
Jesus.
billionaire. But yeah, that guy's got a lot of money. He's able to pay the luxury tax.
Oh yeah, he's what?
I mean,
Mikhail Prokhorov.
Say that shit 5 times
he's
fast.
the gold czar who now is the 80% owner of the Nets. He has interview on the YouTube explaining to people first class program. He's going to pay Phil Jackson $15 million a year.
and he's cruising on the 178, and he's got TVs in this bitch.
But he knows how to turn them on. If not, he's paying somebody to
do it for him, and to drive his ass.
That's the only way LeBron ends up in New Jersey or New York, if he can bring 2 of these guys with him. And then the one thing no one's even talking about is pride. Which one of these 3 superstars, 2 out of the 3 are going to have to choke, like suck it up on the contract. You can't have 3 guys with 3 max contracts.
I tell you right now, if you're looking at it, Joe Johnson, Amaya I wish I was an Oscar Mayer winner. I wish I was an Oscar Mayer Stoudemire. Those guys are kind of second tier compared to Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. I think those are your real. They're all superstars, but they're the real high tier superstars.
Well, what if you get LeBron James, Joe Johnson, and Bosch all in New Jersey? Mm-hmm. Screw Dwayne Wade.
Mm-hmm. I think that could really happen because. You know,
Joe Johnson will sign for less money than those 2.
Mm-hmm.
Bosch will sign for intermediate. He doesn't need a max contract. And let me tell you, out of all of them, LeBron James doesn't need the money. The man has a $100 million shoe contract he signed.
Yeah.
On top of all the other endorsements he has, he doesn't need the money.
Yeah.
Let's find out if you put your money where your mouth is.
I want everybody to watch the video to tell us what do you think is going to happen with these 5 big guys that are going into free agency July 1st to see exactly where they're going to end up or what could be some type of how they can get together and what the fuck am I saying?
I'm not really sure.
Because George is.
Hats off to Duke for winning your lacrosse title yesterday.
Fuck Duke, man.
You go from rapists to winners.
Yeah.
Have a good
First
day.
lacrosse.
You're raping strippers, and now you're up in Baltimore raping God knows what. Bye-bye.